Hi guys, thanks for joining me today. Today we're going to learn how to convert customary units of weight. Before we get started, it would be helpful if you had a pencil, some scratch paper, an eraser, and a partner to help you talk out the problems. Don't forget, you can always pause the video and go back to the parts of the video that you want to review. So, I want to buy avocados at the store. They're usually super expensive, but yesterday I was able to find some avocados on sale. I can buy avocados for $1 a pound. The only problem I have, though, is that the scale at the market only measures in ounces. How can I figure out how much the avocados will be when I go to check out at the register? I'm going to have to convert units of weight, which is our objective today. Today, we're learning how to convert or change customary units of weight. Go ahead and write down your level of understanding before we get started. We'll come back to this at the end to see how you've improved in your level of understanding. As a review, we have been converting units. We started with units of length, and when we convert, we're changing from one unit to another. We've already worked with the customary system for units of length. We looked at inches, feet, yards, and miles, and we used this chart here to help us with our conversions. When we converted units of length, we decided if we were going from a smaller unit to a larger unit, which meant we would divide. If we were going from a larger unit to a smaller unit, we would multiply. Our big idea is similar today. When we're converting, we're changing from one unit to another. Units that are part of the customary system are units of weight that are often used in the United States, like ounce, pound, and ton. 1 pound is equal to 16 ounces, and 1 ton is equal to 2,000 pounds. To give you an idea of what that might represent, here's some pictures. 1 ounce might be a slice of bread, 1 pound might be 1 tomato, and 1 ton might be 1 buffalo. Our success criteria is that we can multiply whole numbers, we can divide whole numbers, we can determine the equivalence between customary measurements, that's by using our chart, so we're able to say that 1 ton is equal to 2,000 pounds, and we can already convert customary units of length. So all this information are all the skills that we already know to help us with today's learning objective. So let me show you what we're going to do, and then we'll try some together. If I want to change 5 pounds into ounces, I first have to ask myself, am I going from a smaller unit of weight or to a larger to smaller? Well, pounds are larger than ounces, so I'm going from large to small, which means I'm going to be multiplying. I know that 1 pound is equal to 16 ounces, so I'll be multiplying 5 pounds times 16, which is equal to 80. So my answer is 80 ounces. Let me show you the steps that we'll be following today. They're similar to yesterday's. We're going to write down the units of weight, and then we'll decide if we're converting from a smaller unit into a larger unit, or if we're going from larger to smaller. And then we'll use our chart to help us solve. So let's try this one. 32 ounces is equal to how many pounds? So I decide I'm going from a smaller unit to a larger unit because ounces are smaller than pounds. Since I'm going from smaller to larger, I'm going to divide. 32 divided by 16 is equal to 2. So 32 ounces equals 2 pounds. If you want to pause when we try this next one on your own, you can go ahead or you can stick with me. We want to convert ounces to pounds. So we're going from small to large, which means we're going to divide, which it says right here. So I'm going to be dividing 16 into 16, which is equal to 1. So 16 ounces equals 1 pound, just like in my chart. All right, let's try another one. 2.5 pounds into ounces. So I'm going to ask myself, am I going from small to large or large to small? Well, pounds are larger than ounces, so I'm going from large to small, which means I'm going to be multiplying. I will be multiplying 2.5 times 16 ounces. And I can do this in one of two ways. I'm going to change 2.5 to an improper fraction, which would be 5 over 2. Now I'll change 16 into a fraction by making the denominator a 1. I can cancel these out, 2 goes into 2 one time, and goes into 16 8 times, and then I can multiply across. 5 times 8 is 40, 1 times 1 is 1, and I know that a denominator of 1 means I have a whole number, so my answer is 40 ounces. All right, let's move on to the next one. 3 pounds into how many ounces? Well, I'm going from large to small, which means I will be multiplying. 3 pounds times 16 is equal to 48. So my answer is 48 ounces. Let's try this next one. 11,000 pounds into how many tons? Well, I'm going from pounds to tons, so I'm going from a smaller unit of measure to a larger one. So that means I'm going to be dividing. I'm going to be dividing 11,000 by 2,000. To make my division a little bit more simple, I'm going to take away the zeros and just divide with the 2 and the 11. When I do that, I know 2 goes into 11 5 times. I subtract, and I have a remainder of 1, which gives me 5.5. So my answer is 5.5 tons. All right. Let's try this one. 3/4 tons is how many pounds? So I'm actually going from large to small on this one, which means I'm going to be multiplying. 3/4 times 2,000. I can do this again where I make 2,000 into a fraction and I can multiply across, and I will get 6,000 over 4. I know that 4 times 15 equals 60, and that means I would just have to add those 2 other zeros, which would give me 1,500 pounds. Our learning objective today was that we learned how to convert customary units of weight. Go ahead and write down your level of understanding after finishing the lesson. Now, let's answer just a couple more questions before we finish. How many 4-ounce bags of peanuts can be filled from a 5-pound bag of peanuts? Well, what I have to do here first is figure out how many ounces are in 5 pounds. To do that, I would multiply 16 and 5 since there are 16 ounces in 1 pound. 16 times 5 is 80 ounces, but that still doesn't answer my question. I need to divide 80 into the 4 bags, which gives me 20. So how many bags would we have? 20 bags. And one more question for you. If you were to fill in the blanks with these bold words, what would you choose? Go ahead and pause and fill them in, and then unpause and see if you got the right answer. In the first blank, we should have ounce. Ounces would be the most appropriate customary unit to measure the weight of a paperclip. In the second one, we should have weight. Weight is a measure of how heavy an object is. And in the last one, we should have pounds. Pounds would be the most appropriate customary unit to measure the weight of a bag of flour. Thank you so much for following along and learning how to convert customary units of weight. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more direct instruction videos. Thank you.